Hey everybody, welcome back. My name is Duran. So today I want to talk about the dieting cycle and this process that people go through. Okay, this behavioral process that people go through when they're dieting or trying to lose weight or get healthy, whatever you want to call it. There's a lot of different reasons. But I want to go through this process really quick for you and show you where people are getting hung up. Okay, where the vast majority of people get hung up in this progression of getting healthier, right? And I want to show you how to start to be able to level up when you get stuck. Okay, so ultimately what happens here is this: there has to be some kind of desire, right? For any change to happen, for any change to happen, you have to take action, right? Action will create change, okay? But for any action to happen, there has to be desire. There has to be some kind of desire or why or burning need or whatever you want to call it, but there has to be some kind of desire for change, right? Maybe it's you want to lose weight, to look better, to fit in your clothes, to feel healthier, to have your heart be healthier, there's a thousand different reasons people come up with for their desires, and they're all wonderful, okay? The desires are perfect, boom, and you can go with your desire. So ultimately, after this desire happens and these changes start to happen, okay, there's this process that people go through. When the desire happens, they first have to start learning and understanding something, okay? They have to start learning and understanding. And you know what? This is going to work a little bit better. I'm actually going to draw this out for you. I'm going to draw this out for you and it's going to make a lot more sense. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're going to look at this progression, right? This progression of getting healthy, right? And so it kind of looks something like this. We go here, go up. Here, we go up. Go here again. Okay, it's similar to like a little stair step here, right? So down here in this aspect right here, this is what we can call unconscious eating, right? And so unconscious eating is that's the beginning stage before you ever even start trying to even think about eating healthier or changing your diet in any way. Unconscious eating is completely driven by your compulsiveness, your impulses, your taste, kind of those, animalistic, if you want to call it that, nature of things, to where you're not actually thinking about food in how it affects your body. You're just, I'm hungry and I eat whatever's in front of me, kind of a thing, right? So there's the unconscious part right there. Now, at some point, a desire happens, and this desire happens right around here. A desire happens. And this desire, there's a lot of ways this desire can happen. It can be a health scare. It could be, so you heard something that it resonated with you, somebody speaking about health. It may have been somebody else got sick. It may have been you read a book. There's a lot of different instigators that cause this desire to kind of snap in people. But this desire happens, right? They have this desire and they say, okay, I want to get healthier. And then when that desire happens, that desire starts to push action, okay? So this desire starts to push action. And all that means is your desire or your why pushes you to do different things than you were doing before, right? So it starts to push action. And when you start to push action, especially in terms of eating, right, you start off in a place that you don't know very much about. Down here, you don't really know very much about food, right? But then there's this aspect right here, this climbing, right? This climbing up. This is the learning. This is the learning aspect, okay? After you go from being unconscious, then you have this desire and you're like, oh, I want to change, I want to get better. Then you start to learn, you start to read more books, you start to follow things, you start to do all kinds of stuff to gain knowledge and to learn so that you can achieve that desire, right? And eventually, once you do that, and this is where dieting comes in. This is as you're learning, you're trying different diets, and you're eating different ways, and meal plans, and weighing food, and all of the different, what we're going to call mainstream diets. Okay, so I'll call this part right here is really this is the mainstream dieting, right? Keto, paleo, Mediterranean, vegan, Atkins, Whole30. There's 1,000 different diets out there. What I'm calling mainstream diets, right? There's 1,000 different diets out there, and this is when you're trying all of those. Eventually, what happens though over time is that you plateau, That's what this is. This is the dieting plateau, right? You do a diet for a while and you plateau, right? Your body gets used to it and you plateau. And what most people do is this. Most people will go, okay, I've plateaued on that. Now I need a different diet. Okay, so then what they'll do, they'll find a different mainstream diet, right? They'll find, instead of paleo, this time we're going to do keto instead of paleo. So they try keto for a while and that works for a little bit, right? There's some results and then you plateau again, okay? And this goes on and on and on. Every single mainstream diet out there, you will plateau on. You will plateau, right? And the reason, there's a lot of different reasons for this, but mostly the reason for this is that your body, the needs of your body are changing on a moment-to-moment basis. Your body is constantly changing. Mainstream diets are rigid, okay? For the most part, they are blocked in, they are rigid, they are well-defined of what you can and cannot eat. That rigidness, okay, that rigidity in those mainstream diets, they don't work long-term. They don't work well long-term with the fluidness of your individual body. So eventually you plateau, okay? So that this is the dieting cycle. Instead of people trying to level up and go to the final level of this, go to the top level, right? They just keep trying a different diet and a different diet and a different diet and a different diet. And all the different diets are doing are bringing maybe a little bit of short-term success, but they're eventually going to plateau. And so you stay stuck here. You stay stuck in this middle ground, okay? If you really want to level up, there has to be another desire, a deeper desire right here, right in this point. There has to be a deeper desire, okay? And these desires, a lot of the times, you guys, the desires here, these first desires, these are very, a lot of time they're very surface level. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to look a little bit better. I want to fit into my clothes. I want to have lower cholesterol, right? There's these surface level desires. But as you go through this and you achieve these surface level desires, right? Maybe you lose your weight, maybe your cholesterol goes down or all these other things. There's still something more in there that you're reaching for. You realize those surface level desires got out of the way, but there's something deeper in there. That's this desire. These deeper level desires of health and well-being and happiness and joy, right? These deeper desires. So what do? You have this desire and then you got to start learning again, right? That's what this thing is, right? This area, you have to start learning it. You have to start getting away from these mainstream diet aspects here and start learning again. And this learning is what is going to take you into some people might call it intuitive eating. Some people might call it intuitive eating. I call it the art of healthy eating. All it means is this. It means that you are actually listening to your own body, okay? You are actually listening to your own body. And when you start taking instructions and listening to your body and what your body needs on a moment-to-moment basis, that's when you step out of this dieting cycle and you don't plateau anymore. And you learn and you learn and you learn. And then your body gets to a place where it's as healthy as it can be, okay, based on what you're giving it. And when you get to this part isn't essentially, it's not a plateau in a bad way, okay? It's not a limiting plateau. This plateau is the foundation, okay? Once you've built this plateau or this foundation of health right here, this foundation of health by actually listening and learning what your body needs, this is the foundation that you can build your house of health on, okay? This is where, if this was a house right there, right, you could build, this is your house, this is your dream house. You can build it on this foundation, okay? You cannot build it on this foundation, and you cannot build it on this foundation because these foundations are weak, and they will fall as soon as struggles come. But if you have this body built on this foundation up here of listening to your own body and knowing what your body needs, okay, that's when you can build a strong house, and that's when you can achieve those deeper desires of health, happiness, joy, things like that. So that's kind of how you can level up. The point is to start to level up here and stop getting stuck in this area. To do that, you actually have to learn a little bit about taste. So if you want to check it out, I teach a foundational class about taste and cravings, and that foundational class is all about how to level up right here. And it's called Awakening Your Taste, and I'll put a link in the bio or in the description below for my website. It's called www.charyarising.com, and you can check out the classes that will help you level up right here and go from being stuck in this dieting cycle to being able to know what your body needs on a daily basis and give it what it needs. Okay. Thank you guys very much. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a wonderful day.